Okay, so I am doing a review on the new MacBook Pro. It's been out for a few months. Well, actually, it's been out for about 6 months now, so I figured it would be a good time to take a moment and review it after using it for a while and just to let you know my experience using it. Um, Thank you all for being here and tuning into my webcast. Here is the new MacBook Pro, the box that it came in. It's actually it's much, you might be able to tell it's much smaller than the original box that this one came in, which I purchased back in 2011. So this one I purchased the end of last year when it came out. I'm going to be discussing the MacBook Pro without the touch bar. And that's for a few reasons. Number one, when I wanted to buy the MacBook Pro, the touch bar hadn't been released yet. And also I did some research on it, and the keyboard had to be redesigned to include the new to include the new touch bar and to make room for it. They had to move things around, and one of the things they had to move around was the battery, and it put it in a place where it heated up the processor and a few other things, which I didn't think would be good. I won't be using the touch bar for what I do. I'm not using it for art or anything like that, so I didn't really think I should purchase it. I wanted something that was just going to work all the time for me. And also, it's so complicated, it could use its own webcast at another time. So here is the MacBook. As you can see, it is the same. It's the 4th generation MacBook Pro. It was released last year. It has the same precision aluminum unibody exposure, which is this solid case, similar to the ones that you've seen before. The first thing you're going to notice is the physical size. It's much, much, much thinner than the previous model. And the color is space gray, which is new for the MacBook Pro. They're able to make it so thin because they removed pretty much every plug or port except for the headphone jack. And they included 2 Thunderbolt 3 connectors, which are also USB-C ports, but none on this side. So it makes it kind of difficult to do a few things if you like to use a lot of peripherals, which I don't, so it's okay. The connectors, if you're going to be somebody like me and you're going to be using a Thunderbolt connection or a USB connection, you're going to need to get these adapters. Last year they were on sale about 50% off, which I think was reasonable, and that's why I went and bought a couple of them. So if you're like me and you use a Thunderbolt 2 hard drive, external peripheral hard drive, then you're going to need to get an adapter like this. So you'll plug it in, and then it plugs right into the MacBook Pro. Also, you can get adapters that come multiple adapters, but I didn't really want that. I just wanted something simple and small. So if you wanted to hook up your iPhone or iPad, for instance, you're going to need to get a USB adapter, which is kind of funny that you need an adapter to hook up your iPhone, your new iPad to your new iBook, to your new MacBook Pro. But until they switched that out on the iPad and the iPhone, that's what we're going to be using. I did purchase the Magic Mouse. This is the second one. It's let me see here. It's a little different. It's shaped a little different, and the clicking is it handles a little bit better, but it's not so much of a big deal. As you could see, here's the old one. It's very similar to the old one, but I wanted to get the new one so I could test it out, and I actually do like it a little bit better. So the new MacBook Pro, I really like it. I like it because it's so thin, it fits in your sleeve and your backpack. You can carry it around. It's very light. Usually I would like to put a protector on it, some type of shield, but they don't have that yet. What they have are cases, but I'll show you that later. Another thing I like is if you plug it in, it automatically turns on, which is okay, but I like the fact that you open it up and it turns right on very, very quickly. And my last one, it took a long time to start up. And you can see, just log right in. And it's just so much faster than my last computer. I really like it. It's very thin. It is sometimes difficult to open up because if you just want to pull this up, sometimes this will come up too and slam back down on your desk. So you do have to watch for that. But other than that, I really like it. It's extremely fast. It's light. I haven't had any problems with the battery life. Logging into websites and downloading music or movies or even updates is at least twice as fast as my older MacBook Pro, which is what we're using right now, is what I'm using right now to broadcast this. Let's see here. Another thing I wanted to say is if you do have a lot of peripherals and you wanted to use something like a lot of USB ports, then you can use something like this. So you'd plug this into your USB adapter and then it would give you multiple ports. And I've tested it out and it does work. Works great. I don't see any latency with the speed or anything like that. Let's see here. So it's a 13-inch model. It's about 3 pounds. It's about 14.9 millimeters thick. The graphics are about 130% faster, which if you're watching movies or playing games, you're going to really appreciate that. It has a brighter display featuring P3 color, which makes 25% more colors available and revealing broader range of greens and reds. So I've been waiting for that. My MacBook that we're on right now, my MacBook Pro, is not a Retina screen, and this one is, and I could definitely see the difference and I could appreciate it. It's just a lot nicer to use and look at. The processing speed, what I bought was, this is a 2 gigahertz processor. It has a 256 gigabyte storage. It's solid state. It has a 2 gig dual core Intel processor. It's an i5, and even though this one's the i5 and my last one was an i7, this one is much faster. So you can't always go by the processor or the gigahertz speed. It's also the fact that they've introduced new technology into the system. The processor, even though it's an i5, is a different type of i5 than the past ones. For instance, the one that I'm using right now to webcast is a single core processor, and this one is a dual core. This one, I said, has 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. The graphics card is very nice. It has a solid state hard drive and 8 gigs of RAM, which I think is enough. Unless you're doing some kind of unless you're using some kind of program that needs to crunch a lot of numbers, this is definitely fine. The price is $1,499, and with the student discount, they give you $50 off. At least that's what I got. It might be different. Hopefully it is. Let's see here. Some of the other things I wanted to point out is that the flash drive makes turning it on, accessing information, and just using the computer in an overall way much faster. They say it has about 10 hours of battery life, and I've had no problem using it for a couple days and without having to recharge it. I think what What does use up the battery is the touch bar, and then of course using movies, streaming movies, things like that. What I love about this one is the speakers. The last one had these little tiny speakers, and this one has speaker right here and on this side. So two nice big speakers. They are totally redesigned on each side, providing about 50% more volume. And also it has a much louder bass, which they call a booming bass. It offers maximum boom. The keyboard's redesigned. I love this new keyboard. It's much quieter. The keys are more of a lower profile, so they're not moving as much, and you can type really quickly. And I don't have any negative things to say about the keyboard. I really like it, and it has the same backlighting options that the original does. The trackpad is much bigger than the last one, and it offers Force Touch. So the Force Touch, some of you might use on your new iPhones. I haven't found any real uses for it yet, but I'm sure it's, somebody has, and I'm sure it's pretty cool to them. Let's see here. The Thunderbolt 3 is the standard USB-C, which is the industry standard. So the new one, this port offers it integrates data transfer, charging, and video output in a single connector. So that's what they like about it, is that you could do video, power, anything you need from those two. Makes it nice, and it'll be great when everything is using that. But right now they're not. And they say it could go up to about 40 gigabytes per second data transfer, and it supports up to two 5K displays, which is pretty cool. But the data, it always has to depend on, of course, if you're using adapters, how long your cable is, what type of cable, what type of hard drive. So the 40 gigs is not really something you could expect to see 40 gigs transferring in a second. That's just not going to happen. Let's see here. I mainly use the MacBook Pro for school. I've enjoyed creating many projects using this computer. I like it much better than my 2011 MacBook Pro. Even though, like I said, the older one has a 2.7 gigahertz Intel Core i7 processor, and this one has a 2 gigahertz dual core Intel Core i5 processor. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's an excellent option for students that want a product that just is going to consistently work for them. I haven't had any problems using it before, and I think that's one of the main reasons I have stuck with it, and that's why I looked into it originally. I've been using PCs since 1996, and I bought my first Apple in 2011. And so I have spent a lot of time using PC. If Eric's listening, I do know how to use PCs and Windows, not just Windows 95. And some people say there's more options available with the PC, but I find this gives enough options for what I need, and I like to just know that it works across all of the devices. That's another thing that I really like, is that this offers Siri now on this new product, and then also offers iCloud that automatically uploads everything to iCloud, so you're able to access all your information across all of your devices, which is pretty cool. And last but not least, I think that the Mac OS operating system, they do a really good job with that. It works seamlessly, like I said, between all your devices, which I love. It automatically updates all of your information to iCloud. And I purchased the Apple Care Protection Plan, which I did get a discount. I think it was about $180 from 250 because I am a student. And again, I would definitely recommend the iPad, the MacBook Pro. I know it is a little bit more money, but I have not had a single problem since 2011 using it. I've never had to reinstall any software, reinstall the operating system like I did on many of my PCs. But that's not to say anything bad about PCs or Windows, Microsoft, or Bill Gates. I definitely appreciate Microsoft, but as a student that needs to have a product that works every time, I can definitely recommend the MacBook Pro. So thank you very much for tuning in to my webcast. I hope you got a little bit of information out of it, and have a great evening.